Welcome back, beautiful souls. I am Brittany Starks, your manifesting mentor. And if you've been loving this chapter so far, like I love this chapter, you'll really want to lean into this final part. Dr. Joe wraps up chapter 8 by showing us how to take our mind movies to a whole new level. Basically calls this getting dimensional. This is where imagination, emotion, and the quantum field merge, creating a deeply immersive experience that rewires the body for your desired future. He also shares how the kaleidoscope meditation prepares your brain for change and how, when paired with the mind movie, it becomes a transformational daily ritual. Don't forget, I'm reading this book chapter by chapter, and if you want to catch up or rewatch the Becoming Supernatural playlist, it is in my bio on both TikTok as well as here on YouTube. So let's get into part 5, taking it one step further by getting dimensional. There's one final way to use the mind movie technology in our work. Once our students have the neurologically mapped their entire presentation, I ask them to pick a scene from the mind movie and unfold into a particular space and time, experiencing the scene three-dimensionally in their mind during their meditation. If you notice, I never use the word visualize in my teachings. Visualization usually involves just seeing something in the mind's eye, so it appears as a flat or two-dimensional image. For example, if you visualize a picture of a car, you will create a picture of a car, literally. Instead, I want you to experience everything in the scene using all five senses so it feels like a real life, three-dimensional experience. As a matter of fact, The Secret used to tell you to visualize. And a lot of times people would only end up seeing pictures of what it is they put on their vision boards and in their visualizations. But Reverend Ike brought this to life when he talked about a guy who wanted to manifest a Rolls Royce. And he kept saying, Reverend Ike, I keep seeing other people in my car. I don't see myself in it. And so Reverend Ike says that's exactly why, because you don't see yourself in that Rolls Royce. You keep seeing other people. And therefore, now you got to witness other people drive by in your dream car and not you. So put yourself in the vision, guys. Feel it real. Many people who have been introduced to my work have wondered why I spent so much time on becoming aware of the space their body occupies in space, as well as opening their focus to the space around their body and the space in the room that occupies in space. Aside from the coherent changes my cues produce in the brain, it's all training for this mindful activity of pairing our mind movie with the kaleidoscope during meditation. When a student begins the dimensionalizing process, before they see anything in their mind, they are instructed to unfold as an awareness into the scene. When they start, I want the participant to become aware that they are in their scene only as a consciousness. This means they are not their body and they lack their senses. They begin as an awareness in an emptiness of space, as if they are incapable of seeing, hearing, feeling, tasting, or smelling anything. Once they become aware that they are an awareness, I ask them to choose a scene from their mind movie. This causes their brain to naturally start adding sensory input, which begins to bring dimension into the scene in their mind. Next, they are instructed to start sensing what's to their right, their left, above them, below them. The act of sensing fills in the scene with three-dimensional structures, forms, and space. As they expand their awareness to what else is in the scene, their senses begin recruiting other senses, further filling in the scene with more forms, structures, curves, textures, scents, images, feelings, and space. Finally, when the scene comes to their life, when the scene comes to life in their mind, in the future space and time of that scene, they start inhabiting their body. Not the body that's sitting there in the chair meditating, but the physical body of their future. They are asked to feel their arms, legs, torso, muscles, and so on until they can feel their entire body in that scene. They are ready to move about in the scene and experience that reality. My theory is that when they simultaneously activate enough of the neural networks assigned to the objects, things, and people in a specific space and time, their possibility of having a full on holographic IMAX type experience increases. This is because as the student becomes present and unfolds into a fully dimensional scene, a large majority of the brain turns on, including the neural architecture that is allocated to both the sensory feeling and motor moving aspects of their body, as well as the pre I'm sorry, as well as the proprioception awareness of body position of where they are in space. The next thing they know, they are having a real life sensory experience of their future with their eyes closed in the present moment. We're going to take a look at graphic 11 in the color insert. It is the brain scan of the student who's experiencing a seemingly real mind movie scene in meditation. She has quite a bit of energy in her brain while she is dimensionalizing the scene. She described this moment as a full on virtual sensory experience. Her subjective experience was quantified objectively in this scan. Many of our students have reported that the experiences in their meditation were more real than any past external experience. Their senses were enhanced without external stimuli to excite their senses. Yet, all they were doing was sitting in the chair with their eyes closed. Many have reported that in their lucid experience, they smelled certain fragrances like colognes, the aroma of specific flowers like jasmine and gardenias, or the familiar scent of leather in their new car they were sitting in. They also heard students report specific memories like the stubble on their face from not shaving, the wind blowing through their hair, or the feeling that their body was filled with a powerful energy. Students have also given testimony to specific sounds they could clearly hear, such as distant church bells coming from the European church near where they were vacationing, or the bark of their dog when they were in their new home. Several students have also said that the colors they saw were incredibly clear and vivid, or they experienced amplified tastes like coconut, chocolate, and cinnamon. The combination of all of the different senses literally created a new experience for them. I just want to say that I've manifested a few experiences that I talk about in my intentional creation course. One of which I got flown out for an all expense paid trip to the BET Awards in 2015 or 2016. Um, but I went to bed with a scene. This was before I learned about Dr. Joe. I did the Neville technique of state akin to sleep. And I envisioned myself getting off the plane and I felt into my body as I stepped off the plane. I felt the weight, the air of the wind, like I felt the temperature of the air hit my face. I felt the hairs on my legs stand up because the wind was blowing. I literally felt the sensation of the wind blowing through my hair and on my body as I stepped off the plane. And that moment, it was a millisecond of a moment, but it felt so real. So I totally can identify with this. But he says it is our five senses that plug us into our external reality. Typically, when we have a new experience, everything we see, hear, smell, taste, and feel is sent to the brain through those five sensory pathways. Once all that sensory information makes it to the brain, clusters of neurons begin to organize into networks. The moment the neurons string into place, the limbic brain makes a chemical called an emotion. But because the experience enriches the brain and creates an emotion that signals new genes in the body, in the rich sensory moment of a student's internal experience, without ever using their external senses, they are changing their brain and body to look like their future has already happened. Isn't that what experience does? I love to hear a person who has just come out of one of those experiences tell me, "You don't understand. I was there. I know it's going to happen because it already has, and I already experienced it." That's because the experience has already happened. When we fully experience the reality in this field of consciousness and energy without a body, the energy of the new experience serves as the template for physical reality. The more energy you invest in your future and the more you keep experiencing and emotionally embracing it before it happens, the more you leave an energetic imprint in that future reality. And your body should follow your mind to that future and your body should follow your mind to that unknown future because that's where your energy is. As you continue to place your attention and energy on it, you fall more deeply in love with it. And because love bonds all things, you are bonding with that future and it's being drawn to you. For more information about the Mind Movie or the Kaleidoscope, you can visit Dr. Joe's website at drjoedispenza.com/mind movies. And now, finally, kaleidoscope and mind movie meditation. This is a very brief part. So he says in our advanced workshop, we instruct our students to create a mind movie before they arrive at our event so they can integrate their mind movies with the kaleidoscope video during meditation. We begin by getting heart centered, which you learned in chapter 7, locking into those elevated emotions for several minutes and radiating that energy beyond their bodies into space. Then we guide them in the following meditation. Unfold into the present moment. And when you attain that state, open your eyes and stare into the kaleidoscope. Once in trance, switch to your mind movie. Spend maybe 8 minutes with the kaleidoscope, then 8 minutes watching your mind movie, and then repeat the cycle. When you've watched your mind movie enough that you can predict the next scene, you've mapped it neurologically. Over time, you associate different parts of the song you've chosen with the different images of your mind movie. Finally, spend some 7 minutes watching the kaleidoscope while just listening to the music from your mind movie. As you gaze into the kaleidoscope in trance and hear your song, by association, your brain automatically recalls different images from your mind movie. This causes you to further remember your future biologically, automatically, and repeatedly firing and wiring neural networks. Now your brain is being programmed to look like the future has already happened, while the emotions are signaling new genes to biologically change your body in preparation for your new future. Watch the kaleidoscope in tandem with your mind movie every day for a month, or at least try to watch your mind movie twice daily as soon as you wake up and right before you go to sleep. You might even want to keep a journal to record all the unexpected adventures and serendipitous happenings that, as you look back, you will see as points on a map that led you to manifesting this future. Consider creating several mind movies, one for health and wellness, for example, and another for romance, relationships, and wealth. And again, as I mentioned, I have a book I self published in 2017. It's a vision book journal. It's still relevant to this day. If you need a little bit of help with mapping out the different sections of your mind movie, that's exactly what my book does. It allows for space and contemplation of being intentional with the different areas of your life that matter the most. It's called My Vision Book Journal. The title is I Want It All, and it's a vision book journal for manifesting dreams. And so, if you want to look into that or purchase my book, you can do so at the link in my bio. You can also do so on my link tree and in the link in my bio on my TikTok page specifically. You can also find it in my descriptions here on YouTube. But that concludes part 5 of chapter 8. And now that you've got the full picture, how mind movies paired with the sound and visualization becomes a tool for energetic entrainment, I hope you feel inspired. What I love most about this chapter is how Dr. Joe brings the mystical and the practical together. So, this isn't just a visualization exercise, it's a daily commitment to condition your body into alignment with the life that you say you want. So, I'll see you in chapter 9, where we begin to explore the power of the pineal gland. It gets even deeper from here, y'all. That's all I can say. Until next time, I'll see you in chapter 9.